Mike Barilak here to talk to you. This is just going to be a journal entry, just catching up. Anybody who been watching my channel for the last 5, 6 years, whatever the hell it is at this point, knows that my content kind of skews downward in the months of January and February. It's just because it's winter, it's cold, and it's but anyways, I'm just going to do a quick journal entry and start with hang on a second. Took down all the Christmas decorations earlier today. I don't think Jesus will mind just moving over just a little bit so you can see my deceased kitty cat. So I'm just going to begin with a couple of jokes. So, your love's better than money in the bank. Ironically, the person that wrote that song didn't really have a substantial amount of money in the bank till they wrote that song. I was also contemplating, thinking about something this week. You know, cartoons, even the older cartoons, had to be more clever and artistic about expression, verbal expression. Like, for example, a character couldn't come right out and say, I'm going to kill you in a cartoon, you know. But they could, you know, if the writers were good writers, and they could come up with clever substitutes for making such statements. For example, a cartoon I used to enjoy in 1990, Back to the Future, the animated series. Some Back to the Future fans know of its existence. Anyways, there's an episode where they go back in time. Marty and the sons, Jules and Vern, go back in time to when baseball was in its infancy state. And when they're taking, I remember when they're taking off, Claire's in the kitchen with Emmett, you know, Doc. He says, Emmett, was Marty taking the boys somewhere? After she hears the DeLorean take off. And Doc's like, yes, something about helping a cousin make a big hit at work. Well, anyways, in the context of that cartoon, there's when they go back in time to when baseball was in its infancy state. There's a character named Diamond Jim Tannen, who is basically a baseball hustler, who is making life pretty difficult for, of course, Marty's past descendant, Pee Wee McFly. At one point, he threatens him with this little bit of dialogue. I'd hate to have you retire from baseball on account of being turned into sawdust. I see a lot of sawdust at my job, so it made me think of that. Another reason why I haven't really put out a lot of content is because I've been focused on, of course, my new job, which is going well. But I've reached the conclusion that it's not really required of me, but it might be beneficial if I just, if I want to be more efficient in my job, it might be beneficial to brush up a little bit on my basic schematics. I thought the 0 meant closed circuit. You know, no, it's the line. And I thought, wait a minute, because I thought in basic schematics, the circuitry that indicated a closed circuit was when the line isn't cut, and it's like, where one side goes up like that, and then that was a closed circuit, and that's an open circuit. But, anyways, I think now that I'm thinking about it, I think the O on the line might be schematics for dummies. I don't think it's actual on the book schematics. Yeah, but that conversation, was it last Friday? Yeah, between Trump and Zelensky. Yeah, and I got to thinking, and I said this on one of my shorts. There are a whole lot of similarities between Zelensky is basically the young version of my male feminist father, who I've talked a lot about and been featured on this channel a lot. Not anymore because I'm done with him. I gotta move on. That's my definition of progression, of progress. Not having him in my life. I mean, when he dies, I'll go to his funeral, and that's it. But that's about it. But yeah, Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, and my father were pretty much the same when they were younger men. The Biden administration was to Zelensky what my grandmother, his mother, was to my father. She paved the way for him to get his narcissist way all the time. And thank God for Trump, because it ain't happening no more. And he's already changed his tune. Oh, the meeting Friday was such he expressed regret. Now he's expressing regret. We want to talk peace. Yeah. Now he wants to talk peace. Yeah. Maybe he realizes, and then again, maybe not. My father never realized anything that didn't benefit him, anyways. That globalism is dead. The future is nationalism. If you, like I always say on this channel, if you live in America, you say America first. If you live in China, you say China first. If you live in Mexico, you say Mexico first. Whatever country you live in, you say that country first. Yep, and that's the way it will be going forward. Yeah. But, yep, Trump told him, you're in no position to dictate. You don't have any cards. We're trying to give you cards. But yeah, I was actually in related to this subject matter. I don't know if this is true, but a coworker was telling me about Ukraine boys being kidnapped and forced to be soldiers for the Ukraine army, and it got me thinking about my grandfather, the guy in the black and white picture back there, who was an immigrant from Europe, who I think when he was like 15 or 16, he was abducted by the German army walking home from school one day and forced to, they would force these young boys to look for mines. If my grandfather had taken a wrong step, I may not be here. As a matter of fact, I'm starting to think that maybe I'm living my grandfather's dream right now. Even though I'm sure my father, his son, had to have been a huge disappointment to him. But maybe I'm just living his fantasy, his life dream, peace and tranquility and freedom. But I talked about this on my channel before, many years ago. But yeah, the conversations, the arguments I had to listen to as a child between the adults in my family all pertained to my father and what he wanted and what he was unsatisfied with. I'll say the joke again. But an ongoing joke between me and my sisters in the years after the authorities took us away from our father. It's like an ongoing joke. My grandfather would always argue with my grandmother. Everything he want, Mama get it for him. He want car, Mama buy it for him. He want house in the country, Mama get it for him. Now he want woman, Mama go get him a woman. Doing my grandfather, but these were the arguments I had to listen to every freaking Saturday. So my father could go drive across state lines, and that was an hour and a half, like 50-something miles. I always had to ride shotgun, that's why I remember that. But, yeah. So he can collect his $40 allowance from Mama. But like I said, every argument in that house, every Saturday when he would come visit and collect his $40 weekly allowance, I only got $3. It was insinuated it was supposed to be $1 for each child, but my grandmother just gave it all $3 to me, and I would use it to buy books from the book club at school, but primarily. That's how I got Back to the Future 3 in novel form first and read it before I saw the movie. Anyways, I made a comment about that, and somebody liked the comment. Anyways, Zelensky and my father were basically the same as young men. Yeah, Bill Maher. Oh yeah, Bill Maher. I used to value that guy's opinion, but Another joke. But Bill Maher on his little thing, I'm done with SNL. I won't be watching that show anymore. But I'm almost done watching Real Time with Bill Maher. But he was on there talking about this Fetterman guy is his man in 2028 because he's the Democratic Party's Trump. This is his reasoning, Bill Maher's reasoning, which goes to show how limited his brain really is. I never saw it because I was a child. I was just a child watching, politically correct with Bill Maher, thinking, "Oh, what an intelligent man! Oh, I gotta follow what he says," and I did for years. Then I grew up. But this Fetterman guy is his man, according to Bill Maher, for the president in 2028 because he's the Democratic Party's Trump. He's tall, he's annoying, etc., etc. And he's going on all these traits that the guy shares with Trump. All right, I don't want this to be too long. So I'll just end on a high note. And I just actually got wind of this today, but Trump signed an executive order. Talk about promises made, promises kept. Yep, Trump is keeping his promises. That is the naked eye. Truth. But, he signed an executive order. 50-50 divorce is done. No more. Welcome to true equality, ladies. No more females acquiring wealth by simply divorcing their wealthy husbands. Divorce is big business, and it's a big business that is destroying the nuclear family.